Hello friends, I am going to discuss about formal organization, its meaning, its concept and its characteristics. Right? So first I want to say one thing. Formal means as per the duty given to a person and the responsibilities given to a person, the structure of the enterprise is being established. This is the simple explanation. As being given a duty and responsibilities to a person, the structure of enterprise is being established. It is the simple explanation. Here nothing is person to person general relationship. If two persons, father and son, are at the family as working in home or the residence as father and son, but as they are working in the enterprise, they are working as the superior and subordinate. So their relationship as the person to person will not come here. So in any case, the son has done any mistake, he will be punished. He will be transferred by his father as the superior in the office. So such a relationship create is known as formal organization, as the example I say. Okay. So person to person relationship is not coming here in such organization, but instead of that, the relationship between the people will come on basis of duties, powers and authorities. Is that clear? Okay, now I explain the definition. In order to achieve the pre-decided goals, aims or objective, the formal structure of relationship within people and their work is established. It is known as formal organization. Repeatedly saying, in order to achieve the pre-decided objective, goal or aim, the formal structure of relationship among people and their work is established. It is known as formal organization. So now you understand one thing. The relationship on basis of work, on basis of duties, on basis of power, authority and responsibilities, the relationship will be developed in person to person. So it is called formal organization. Generally, if in earlier discussion we have seen about linear organization, you can think it is or functional, linear or the functional, whatever you want to say, both are formal type of organizations, because in both the way of organization you have seen the workers are in touch with their superior as per their given duties or the delegation of the authorities to their superior, and they are subordinates. So here the relationship is developed on the basis of their duties, power and authorities delegation. So it is called formal organization. Now remember one thing. The powers will be delivered or delegate to a person according to his responsibilities or the duties. So he can get work done from others in proper manner. So in that situation, the delegation of authority is being done within the officers as per the capacity, and it is clearly discussed and declared. So it is a part of formal organization. So now you understand one thing. Here nothing is out of the way. This is the formal. Formal means on basis of given structure, decided relationship, every power, duties, responsibilities, authorities will be delegated to everyone. So there will be clear declared relationship between superior and subordinates as per their authorities and duties are same. Is that clear? So here I explain concept of formal organization. And as I have discussed earlier, whenever you study the definition properly, you will get so many kind of the characteristics. So as we have discussed about the meaning, just you think about, in order to achieve the pre-decided goal, objective and aim, the structure of relationship within people and their work is being established, right? So here relationship is formal, the goals are pre-decided, and the distribution of work and the liabilities and authorities are done as per the powers, right? So here everything is clearly declared, nothing is out of the way. Okay, so easily understanding possible by explanation of characteristics, right? So the first characteristic is formal structure. See here, one thing is necessary to understand. The structure is made or developed or established with purpose to achieve the goal which is being pre-desired. So now the administrators are making the structure with the purpose to achieve the goal. It is clearly declared, right? So the first point is formal structure. You have to remember in this point, administrators are preparing the structure with the purpose to achieve the goal, right? Okay. The second point is lacking of flexibility. See, if the goal is pre-decided, then the plan is already been made up and the roadmap is clear, so the change is not possible in this method of work. We have to remember this. In this kind of structure, remember this line, in this kind of structure, the place of assigned duties to the employees are non-alterable. Alterable means changeable, but it is non-alterable means non-changeable, in that case the change is not possible and everyone has to follow only given duties or the assigned duty to them as per their capacity. Right? Third point, delegation of power from upper level to lower level. Remember, I use the word delegation of power from upper level to lower level. Means power is not centralized. As per the duties and the responsibilities, the authorities and power will be given from top level to the bottom level. Means board of director to the jobber, supervisor and foreman, the power will also be given to them to get work from their subordinates. Right? So nothing is possible to change because everyone has to get the work from other. So it is necessary to be followed properly. Right, my friends? Okay. The delegation of power is done by superior or the superior officer and will flow from upper level to the bottom level. Right? So nothing is stick at one place. There will be in other way I could say it is a decentralization process because not only duties, responsibilities but powers are also being given to the officers as per their responsibilities. As example, I want to give you one point. See, in any production unit, the supervisor has authority to get the work, but it is necessary that the subordinate means the workers are completely known by their relationship with that superior supervisor, that they are answerable to him. But only the top level has given the power to the supervisors and it is not being informed to the worker, then the worker will not reply him. So everything is clear that you are bound to reply to your immediate superior, means the superior officers. So here delegation of power and authority will come from top to the bottom with the distribution of work and the responsibility. Right? The fourth point is large size organization is needed to be followed by this. So the large size means the big structure needed to be followed this formal organization. Organization structure need to comprise from large size. See, any enterprise is working on basis of different person's capacity. Their post is associated with their duties. So their post is completely clear in mind of themselves. So in others' mind it is necessary. So organization is clear that this is the board of director, this is the departmental head, this is the divisional manager, this is the general manager. So everyone is clear in the mind. So the large size structure will comprise to this formal structure. Right? Okay. Next point is particular relationship. See, the whole formal organization is based on relationship between superiors and subordinate. So nobody is out of each other's contact. Due to the plant structure, the places and relationships are clear in employees with their superiors in particular form. As example, I have earlier said that the worker is bound to reply to his superior, means the supervisor in the bottom level management. So directly worker is not allowed to go to meet the departmental head at the middle level, but he has to answer to his immediate superior, means supervisor only, not other than them. So here particular relationship is declared, clear and decided. Okay, the last point in the explanation in the characteristics is communication. Communication means give information and get instructions. In other way, the talk between two different people in a different level are working with each other as per their formal relationship according to their work and duties. So remember one thing, everyone is informing other, instructing other or talking other as per their decided relationship with them is the part of formal organization. No one is going to talk with other out of the way. As I have said in the first example, father and son are the informal relations at the home, but in the office one is the superior, other is the subordinate. Even I am going to change the example. Exactly opposite situation. By the capacity, son is sitting in the manager's post and father is working in worker's place. At the home, father is the aged and elder person, so his words are bound to be followed by the son. But here in the office, what do you think so? Is father having right to give instructions to his son who is the manager in the office? The answer is no, because here this is formal organization, show the relationship as per the power, duties, authorities and responsibilities given to everyone. So their relationship is clear. So if father wants to take the leave for one day at home, he could say to the son, then what do you think? What the son will reply? Son will tell him, okay, in office you put one just written letter in the format, I will sign it. See, this is their own relation, so he will be ready to sign. But one thing is clear, he has to follow the procedure, and the procedure is get the leave by asking for the leave, and the leave is required to be permitted, is allowed by the authority. So the son is the authority to give permission to take the leave to his father as per the place responsibility. So it is the communication is also based on the formal way, and the informal communication has no place in this kind of the organization. Is that clear? So I discussed about the formal organization concept, meaning and its characteristics. Right, my friend?